All right, guys, I think Jordan Poole may be back to what he was in 2022. There's no denying that Jordan Poole still has one of the more expensive contracts in the NBA for a player of his caliber. And I'm not saying he's turning into somebody that's like Derek White either, and he's going to impact a championship team on the defensive end of the floor or as a connecting piece. But his offensive confidence and his competitive energy look night and day different from last year's season, his first in DC. And this finally feels like the Jordan Poole that the Washington Wizards thought they were trading for when they traded away franchise legend Bradley Beal in the 2023 offseason. The Jordan Poole that was able to show up as a competitive scorer against the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals in 2022, that was able to finish with contact, or was able to make a flashy pass to a rolling big man and just bring energy to the home arena, or the player that was able to beat Jason Tatum off the dribble in the NBA Finals. And after watching his first year in DC, which got off to a abysmal start, he looked like someone that could not operate as a number one option, and this was his team now. He was a secondary scoring option in Golden State, and then with this Bradley Beal trade ended up being the top guy in DC. And you can look at how much he struggled last year with the confidence in his shot. The catch and shoot numbers were not there to start off the season whatsoever. I feel like at times he was rushing his shots as well and didn't really get the best looks that he could have possibly take. Or something that made Jordan Poole so good in Golden State was his ability to finish with contact at the rim, and that was just not happening whatsoever. And these were the plays last year that are just looking so much different this year. This is a shot that Jordan Poole is making currently that he wasn't last season. And Jordan Poole, like I said, is getting off to a great start this year. So far this year, he's averaging 22.2 points per game, 4.4 assists, 2.3 steals a night as well, and he's doing it on great efficiency. 46% from the field on 16 field goal attempts, which is about one more than he was taking last year. He's shooting 44% from three on 8 3-point attempts as well, which is about a 3 more per game than he was taking last year. And we know that Jordan Poole is an elite free throw shooter. He's shooting 90+% from the line. There are only 7 players this year that are averaging 22 points, 4 assists, have a true shooting percentage north of 60% and a usage rate of 29%. So that means you are being efficient with the ball in your hands, you're getting your teammates involved, and you have the ball in your hands a ton. Those 7 players are MVP candidates: Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, great scoring guards such as Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, and oh yeah, Jordan Poole also making that list as well. And Jordan Poole's catch and shoot numbers are off the charts this year. He's taking about 4 catch and shoot threes a night, and he's shooting that at a 42% clip, one of the best rates in the NBA. He also is making his pull-up threes, his step-back threes look so smooth and easy as well. He's shooting 49% from 3 on pull-up threes on about 4 attempts a game. He's shooting 55% from 3 on tight threes and 66% from 3 on very tight threes, which means you're getting about 0 to 2 feet of separation from your nearest defender. And a play I love this year is when he went against his former team, the Golden State Warriors, he was able to split the defense, finish with the reversed layup, something we were not seeing him do at all in last year's season. Because to start off last year's season, in the month of November, he was averaging 17 points, 5 fewer than he is right now, 3.5 assists, about an assist lower than he's averaging right now, and he was shooting 40% from the field, 31% from 3, and 87% from the line. And that was a consistent trend for Jordan Poole all year long until we hit the month of March, where it felt like Jordan Poole finally hit his stride as a top scoring option for the Wizards late in last year's season. Because last year in the month of March, Jordan Poole had his best month of that year. He averaged 19 points, 5 assists, and shot 45% from the field, 35% from 3, and 94% from the line. In a smaller sample size in April, he shot 37% from 3, 44% from the field, and averaged 23.5 points and 9 assists throughout those 5 games. And I mentioned it before, but I feel like his confidence is all the way back, especially in that game against the San Antonio Spurs, a game in which Wemby was the star of that game, but Jordan Poole had the confidence to pull up from downtown, knock threes right in front of defenders' faces, something that I think he struggled with last year. He was able to finish with contact at the rim, but also from downtown as well, and he was able to finish a 4-point play from downtown with Keldon Johnson getting into his landing zone. And he's now playing with a very good outlet passer in Alex Sarr, who looks great as an outlet passer already throughout his career. Jordan Poole is playing with a lot more energy getting down the floor, and he's able to finish right away. And as much as Daniel Gafford is really good in specific things for the Washington Wizards, I think playing alongside good big men like Alex Sarr and Jonas Valanciunas, for Sarr more defensively, Valanciunas more offensively, it's helping out Jordan Poole's game a ton. And I also think they're really good screen setters for him. And that's also helping out with Jordan Poole's assist numbers. These are plays that Daniel Gafford or maybe even Marvin Bagley at times were not making last year, as Jonas Valanciunas has a nice touch around the rim. I mentioned before how good the catch and shoot numbers have been this year, and it was on display against the San Antonio Spurs. Catch, bang, feet planted, and he's able to knock down these threes in stride. And for someone that's making $29 million this year, $31 million next year, and he's going to be making $34 million in 2027, he's not going anywhere in Washington anytime soon. No team is really ponying up that much money to take on Jordan Poole, who's still an extreme wild card. If we saw him be as consistent as he is right now, along with 2022, over the last 3 or so years, yeah, there's definitely a chance he could have been traded. But teams aren't really taking a chance on Poole right now because of the inconsistencies we have seen over the last 2 years. But he's still just 25 years old. He was taken late in the first round in the 2019 draft class. We saw him perform on the biggest stage for Golden State throughout those 2022 playoffs and in the NBA Finals. So Washington, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's rally around Jordan Poole, and I think get excited about him running the offense, especially making these younger guys better, like Keyshawn George, Alex Sarr, and Bub Carrington, and as well as year 2 breakout Bilal Coulibaly, as Poole could really be a good complementary piece for Bilal's development. And I think Jordan Poole has done a great job as a slasher this year as well, knowing when to cut and really knowing how to play off ball, as he's able to get around Malachi Branham here with ease and finish ahead of a good defender in Stephon Castle. And this play just got me really excited and felt like I was watching 2022 Jordan Poole again, as he's able to get around Chris Paul, pull off the spin move on Keldon Johnson, and finish with the right hand finger roll at the rim. Or how about Jordan Poole's decision making in transition this year? I feel like he's making the right passes. I feel like he's using that energy to get up and down the floor. He's still a quick decision maker, and he's able to find Corey Kispert, who's definitely a better three-point shooter than Jordan Poole, to get that easy three. And I talked a little bit about his catch and shoot threes. Well, I feel like his step back threes have been on another level this year. This is LaMelo Ball-esque that we're seeing this on a good defender in Zachary Risachet earlier in the season. In a different game against Zachary Risachet, he enjoys that Risachet is guarding him. He had success on him, and he has a clean dribble move to knock down a dagger against the Atlanta Hawks. And this is one of my favorite Jordan Poole shots all year long against a good defender in Peyton Pritchard. He's able to go behind the back, step back, and knock down that three in stride against a good Celtics team to start off the year. And there's some fun energy about a Bilal Coulibaly, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, and Jonas Valanciunas 5-man lineup. That 5-man lineup per 100 possessions is 52.2 points better than their opponents. And I think when Kyle Kuzma becomes more efficient, same with Corey Kispert, both those guys are having somewhat down years, this could actually be one of the better 5-man offensive lineups in the Eastern Conference. So all in all, I do feel like this is a different version of Jordan Poole than we're seeing from last year's season. It got off to a rocky start to start off his DC tenure. They were always going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Now, those expectations really haven't changed this year. They were all projected to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, but it's not because of Jordan Poole. And like I mentioned before, I'm not saying he's going to become the next version of a Derek White and he's going to make a title contender a completely different team if they acquire him at the deadline. No, Jordan Poole still has his defensive deficiencies, but I feel like he's playing with a lot more energy and competitiveness this year. The deflections are up, the steals are up, and if we're going to get this version of Jordan Poole, you know what, for someone that's 25, 26, and 27 years old on the remaining 3 years of this contract, isn't going to feel like it's the worst contract in the NBA that we all thought it was at some points in last year's season. So that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this breakdown on Jordan Poole this year. It's been really fun to watch him turn his career around in year number 2 in DC. Let me know what you think about him in the comments below. And if there's another player you want to see me talk about in this fashion, please let me know, for good or for bad. I want to deep dive these players this season. Subscribe if you are not already. Drop a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.